Hey Siri, what are the signs of a concussion?
I can't be over there.
Why?
Because there's big snake, bro. This little fucking creek. Nope, I can't. I can't.
Watch out for that glass.
I'd rather put big glass in my foot than deal with that. I'm going to put more of my alley.
Alright, so welcome back to another skateboarding progression video where I'm basically trying out all the different skate parks around Richmond, Virginia, and I'm just trying to better myself along the way. But the main thing that I wanted to mention is that I'm absolutely mind blown at the support these first two videos have gotten. This was just something that I kind of put out there just to kind of have on my channel. I just thought it was a kind of a cool thing that I could look back on. And it's just so cool to go in the comment section and just hear the different stories about how people are relating to it. You all are sharing stories with each other and commenting on each other's stuff. And the even crazier thing to me is that people are actually finding this inspirational. Like, to me, that's just such a wild concept that people are finding my stuff. And then just as a very beginner skateboard, people are finding that and just resonating with it in a way to where they want to get out and go skate. And it's something that's actually really inspirational to me, that it just makes me want to put out better content and to build a bigger community to where you guys can relate to each other, relate to the content. And it's just a really, I don't know, it's just an awesome thing to see. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump over to the first video out of my third month of getting back into skating. There's a couple of people over where the actual skate park is, so I'm gonna skate the basketball court for a little bit, just get some flat ground stuff in, get warmed up a little bit. We'll see you out there in just a minute.
Always got to make sure you're stretched out and loose. And then this is a big thing that I kind of picked up on doing, learning pop shove-its, is just spinning the board around just one-footed. It's a really good way to get warmed up to where you're not so dedicated to jumping and trying to land on the board just right off the bat. So I kind of like getting my legs warmed up and then kind of progress into the stationary tricks, and then after that going into actually trying to roll and land on the board and all that good stuff. This is also right after I got my new custom deck, and then I also had new shoes. So I was kind of in the middle of a lot of upgrades here. And kind of like I mentioned in my last video, one of the big things that helped me out immediately was having a new deck, because my last deck was really worn out and it had some razor tail going on. So as I was trying to learn pop shove-its, I was running out of pop in my board. So I didn't actually realize how much it was affecting me until I got this new board and immediately felt an improvement. Yeah, not a whole lot of new pop shove-it activity. I'm just slowly getting my form a little bit better, especially when I'm first starting out. Usually after I get warmed up a little bit, I get a little loose and they become more consistent, but sometimes whenever I first start up and kind of get into the warm-ups of my tricks, they're a little rough. Next thing I'm working on is a little bit of kickflip action, just starting off with the stationary. And the main thing that I was trying to do here was create some muscle memory on swiping outwards instead of straight back on my kickflips, because I mentioned it in my last video, but what I was making a habit out of doing as I was growing up and learning kickflips as a kid is kicking straight back and pushing down on the board for a kickflip. So I'm trying to get out of that habit. And then I ended up going back to the pop shove-its. They actually felt a lot better now that I was warmed up, and I was starting to get those pretty consistently. And then I kind of progressed into trying to kickflip as I'm rolling, which I had not done at this time yet. Surprisingly, they weren't too bad, except for whenever I landed primo. Gotta love that. Back to back on the primos. And then I finally was just like, all right, gotta be careful on these. So I didn't end up getting the kickflip rolling that day. So I went ahead and headed over to the actual skate park so that I could start on some ramp stuff. Just did a couple little warm-up tricks there. And the big thing that I wanted to do today was learn rock and rolls. You can see here I'm just a lot more comfortable on the skateboard in general. But also I'm trying to learn my new deck, because this is a completely different setup than what I first started with. You know, new wheels, new trucks, everything. And I sat here and battled this rock and roll for quite a while. I mean, I was out there for a good 30 minutes, 45 minutes probably, just back to back trying it. One thing that I did do was kind of overdo it on getting over the coping. So whenever you're first learning rock and rolls, you don't have to go that far over the coping. You just barely get your first truck over, and then I'll pretty much kick turn back around. So yeah, I kind of learned them the hard way, and then I went back to a different ramp and started trying them again on a different day, and I just could not get them to work. Sat back and looked at it like a kick turn and not having to go so far over the coping. And I kind of took a break from that, went back to some of the flat ground stuff that I was trying on that basketball court, and then a couple tries after that, I ended up finally getting it, so I was pretty hype about that. So I got up a little earlier than usual because this place that we're going to today is a skate park that's on the opposite side of Richmond, and the weather's not looking too good today. So we've got some rain headed this way. Let's get on the road. Let's see what this other skate park looks like. See if we can get some mini ramp skating in today. Let's see if the weather doesn't shit on us. It does look like they tore down that big half pipe that was here, which is kind of unfortunate. A mini ramp still left here, so that should be a good time because I have never skated any mini ramps. But yeah, we'll see you out there. Got stretched out, made sure I had all my pads on. I did have the knee pads, wrist braces, elbow pads, and helmet, along with the ankle braces and high top shoes. So we were all geared up that day. So this was I think it was a 4-foot metal ramp, and it was surprisingly difficult. I figured I would be able to bust some tricks out, progress at a quicker rate, just because I'd be able to maintain my speed and try tricks back and forth, but it was not like that at all. Pretty much I got out there, and it took me a while to even just drop into it and get rocked to fakie. Just because you have so much speed, I don't know, you have to shift your balance so much quicker than you normally do when you're just doing single ramps at a time. So this might not be the most entertaining content just because it's hard as hell when it's your first time on a mini ramp. So I just started trying to go back to the basics, get some pumping back and forth in. And then I just launched my board right there. Just barely lost my balance and all that speed went straight up. And then I was just going back and forth, trying to rock to fakie, just trying to get the feel for my balance as I rolled back and forth, because like I said, just shifting your weight back and forth like that it's a different motion if you've never been on a mini ramp before. And that was actually really exhausting. I remember it was really hot day, really humid, and just going non-stop, man. I was so out of breath. So then I repositioned my camera, get a different angle on it. Finally did get some 50-50s. Then I got rock to fakie right after that. So it felt pretty good. Slowly started building up my confidence. Started to find my balance a little better. Yeah, that's one that I'm still trying to get my brain wrapped around, is the front side 50-50. I'm just gonna have to spend more time on it now that I've actually looked it up, but I'm just gonna end up having to come back to that one.
That's why we wear helmets.
So this was whenever I fell and hit my head. What I actually did was put too much weight on my front foot as I was going back down, and I didn't have my knees bent far enough. So my motion was still going forward, but my board was kind of sideways, and my weight distribution was just a little bit off. And then I tried rolling out of the fall, and I rolled straight into the other side of the ramp. So it doesn't seem like a big ramp that's gonna hurt you, but whenever you're going down there and you happen to stumble right here, by the time you get there, you're not falling on flat ground anymore. Your head's going straight into this. Whereas normally, whenever you fall on flat ground, you've got that playroom between you and the flat ground. But with this, you fall, like your head's going straight into that. Didn't do any damage to my helmet, so shout out to ProTech for making good helmets. Hey Siri, what are the signs of a concussion? Headache, pressure, and head, duh. Nausea, headache, sleep disorder, mood swings, blurred vision. All right, I think we're straight. And that's the thing about hitting your head with a helmet on, is it doesn't protect against concussions. Thankfully, I was okay after this. And it's funny because whenever I was about to go up there and try this ramp out, I almost didn't grab my helmet because I kind of looked at it and I'm like, man, that's a small ramp. People skate this all the time without helmets. Like, I'll be fine. Worst thing that's going to happen is I'm going to slide out of the ramp, right? So never underestimate your ability to fall, and, you know, it can change your entire life in a matter of seconds. Dude, I might need to help this little geezer out here. He's stuck in the cage of the basketball court. I feel like if I go over there and help it, I'm just gonna get attacked though, so we'll see. Go that way. Yep. Just keep it going, buddy. Uh-oh, there's the backup. Nope. Other way. All right. So for this one, we are warming up at the south side basketball court area. This is a lot of the same stuff, so I will cut a lot of this out. But I think I spent about an hour, hour and a half up here just trying pop shove it's 180 ollies, kick flips, and I started to dabble around with heel flips a little bit. So I think I looked up a couple of videos on heel flips, and I was just kind of testing the motions. That's something that I never learned as I was growing up skateboarding, is how to heel flip. I mainly just kind of stuck to kick flips and just kind of left it at that. Then after I got warmed up a little bit, I ended up walking over to the actual skate park side, and it was pretty packed, so I headed out and checked out 28th Street, which is kind of my backup plan in case this skate park's a little crowded. So I was able to get some better shots of the skate park itself. I think the last one I took on my old camera and it was just super stuttery and it had like a lot of frame drops in my footage. So I just kind of wanted to get some better shots of it. There's only a couple of people up here this day. It's kind of a small park though, so if there's more than just a couple people there, it gets a little crowded because you have to take turns trying tricks and stuff. I wasn't really doing anything special here. I was just trying to ollie up onto the platform and then do a 180 ollie off of it. I still don't think I ever fully landed it and rolled away from it. Then I was kind of taking turns with that and the rail slides. Still just trying to get the board slide down, just trying to put some repetition behind it so that I can get a little better. Then right here, I was just trying to line up my ollie onto the little manual pad there. That's still something I hadn't tried at this point, is just doing the 50-50 box slides. And then whenever I added a little bit of speed to it, it just kind of all fell apart. And I noticed this as I was going back through the editing process. I just love how supportive the skate community is. Like, these guys didn't even show up together or anything. They've just been skating. Everybody's in their own little world. And then this guy sees that somebody else got the trick that they've been going for. And, you know, he just claps for him. Like, I think that's so cool. My board slides are still really ugly. I really want to work on starting further back on the rail to where I can actually get that balance and everything. But I think that's just something that's going to come with time. And towards the end of it here, I just get really exhausted. I think I had been skating for 4 hours or so at this point. But sometimes I just get in that mindset to where I'm like, I'm already out here, I'm already sweaty, I'm already tired. So if I can push myself further past this mental barrier, it's gonna be that much easier next time I get on my skateboard, or, you know, it's gonna condition myself even that much better. And with these kickflips, I do this thing where I get tired and I want to revert back to my old muscle memory. But I also have really stiff ankles, so doing a standard kickflip and like having really loose ankles and flinging the board and looking all fancy, I don't know if that's going to be my strong suit. I don't really know how much more effort I'm going to put behind trying to change my foot swipe position and stuff like that. Like, if it works sometimes, right?
All right, so I think that pretty much wraps up today's video. If you all did enjoy the content, don't forget to drop a like and a sub. If you guys related to the video or were inspired in any way, I'd like to hear about that in the comments section. Other than that, I really don't have much else to say, so I will see you all in the next video. We should be coming around in the next couple weeks.